Watch where I go to get this story so that you will know where it is when you would like to work with it. It's not here with the sacred stories, and it's not a parable. It's one of our Quaker stories, a faith and play story. This is a Quaker story about when friends gather to have a meeting for worship with attention to business. Each week, friends gather. We gather as a community for meeting for worship. And once a month, we also meet together to take care of the business of the meeting community. Just as friends gather in this space to listen for God in worship, we gather here to listen for God in meeting for worship with attention to business. Two friends have special care for this meeting. This friend is the clerk of the meeting. Their job is to listen for how the Spirit is working in the meeting community. The clerk is listening to friends all week long, all month long, between these meetings. She helps the meeting community to know what business they need to work on each month. Another job that friends share is as the recording clerk. This friend is the recording clerk for the meeting. They will listen and write down how the Spirit is working in the meeting, and they record the decisions that are made. We call these notes or records our minutes, and they are like the history of our meeting community. When friends take care of our meeting's business, we are holding the whole meeting in the light. We enter into worship and we listen. We listen for God and we listen in our own hearts, and we listen to one another to know how to love, what to do, and who to be. Sometimes friends make decisions about taking care of the meeting house or someone in our community. Sometimes we are deciding how to work for peace or who will get ready for a meeting potluck. There are so many things to do and decisions to make together. Today, in this meeting for business, friends have a concern about their meeting house property. Outside the meeting house is a very old tree. The tree's roots are sick, and the tree is no longer living and growing. The meeting must decide what to do about the tree. The clerk asked the friends who serve on the property committee what they recommend. This group of friends helps to take care of the meeting house and its land, and they asked a tree doctor what to do. A friend from the property committee stands and speaks clearly. They use as few words as possible and as many words as are needed. And the committee recommends that the tree be cut down. It might fall or hurt someone or damage the meeting house if they don't take it down. The clerk thanks the property committee for their work and their recommendation, for their faithfulness. And now it is time for friends together to share how the Spirit is leading them in this decision. Another friend speaks. They remember clearly climbing this tree when they were a child, and they will be sad to see it cut down. It feels like losing a member of the meeting community. This friend feels strongly that the tree needs to be removed. What if it fell on a car or damaged the building? The clerk asks friends if they might settle into worship, to listen inwardly for way to open. They need to find unity, the feeling that the meeting has been led by Spirit to a decision together. Out of the silence, this friend shares an idea. Perhaps if the tree is cut down, the wood might be given to a family in need of firewood for the winter. Out of worship, this friend suggests that perhaps in the spring, the children in the children's meeting could plant a new tree in the place of the tree they need to cut down. Out of the stillness, this friend shares that the meeting might perhaps gather under the tree before worship next week to share their memories and perhaps sing a song. A sense of peace begins to settle into the meeting house. The clerk, who is listening for how Spirit is moving, speaks out of the silence. The sense of the meeting seems to be that it is the right decision to cut down the tree. The clerk affirms that friends will also find ways to celebrate the tree's life. Meeting members are silent, listening, but they smile and nod their heads in agreement. Friends have reached unity in the Spirit on this concern. The recording clerk minutes all of this. And then after any old or new business the meeting needs to attend to, friends continue with a period of worship, and they end with handshakes. They have listened for God. They have taken care of the meeting's business together. Spirit led the way. Friends will go out into the world to continue God's work, and they take with them hearts that know love, peace, and unity. I wonder what part of this story you liked best. I wonder what part of this story felt like the most important part for you today. I wonder where you are in this story, or what part feels like it is about you. I wonder if you have ever listened in your heart, listened inwardly to help find the right thing to do, to make a decision. I wonder if you have ever listened with your family and friends, listened together and found unity.